encrypted, so the idea is you're not getting in there. It has its own risks, so you got to be aware of that. You definitely got to look at the about and make sure that you're okay with that.
Yeah, something definitely to look into is no matter what code storage you use, always read their EULA.
Yes.
Some of them are a little bit more evil than others, and they say, yeah, no, your data belongs to us. We're just letting you store it.
You have a question?
Yes, there is a real issue. How big? The real issue about online storage is basically it really depends on how big your life is. I have 3 terabytes of my life: music, videos, documents. It's mostly the videos and pictures I create from I record from various anime conventions in the DC area. And sadly, it's going to take me 6 months to upload all that initially onto a online backup service because of my slow upload.
Yeah, that is a problem.
Yeah, that is a problem with internet-based applications. Is you do have to have a fairly hefty bandwidth connection, especially upload.
Yes, and that's the thing. I mean, if you have there are some services that allow you to provide C backup, but it only limits you to about 1 terabyte or 1.5 terabyte. So what I did was, after another recent hard drive crash, which I had to call on track in order to recover the data, is to buy 2 more hard drives. One general archive one that basically copies everything I had for the usual C drive, and for the secondary drive for videos and games and music and stuff, and another hard drive that is dedicated to videos, while using the first 2 external hard drives as general use, and 2 other hard drives that are internal hard drives.
It's a good way to do it. Redundancy and separation of different things is good. In my experience, you want to keep really large files separate from really small files because of the way data is written to disks. It makes more sense to do it that way. I can think of an easy way to explain is without spending an hour on the mechanics of this. I'll just say it's better to do it that way. I'll just say it's better to keep big things away from small things.
Like puzzles.
Yeah.
Really simply. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's a good analogy.
Because some pieces are smaller to the better with smaller pieces, and if you've got like a couple of big chunkers, and then you've got like a small one, then you've got a bunch of space in the middle, that whatever.
Yeah. Anyway,
Like that. So
without going into a huge technical lesson, it's good to keep data separated like that.
I got it. Your hard drive is playing Tetris with your data, basically. And as it gets full, it gets a little harder to be able to put all that stuff in place. So
That's actually a perfect way to do it. Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, and if you have a problem with like a slow internet connection as far as upload goes, you're probably also just as good having an off-site drive. So if you got like a friend that you trust somewhere, or you're okay with bringing a hard drive to your office and sticking it in a drawer, that gives you sort of an added bit of protection. It's really, the odds of having 2 hard drive failures is, well, you're just really unlucky and you got a problem if you got 2 hard drive failures. Sorry.
Well, I actually had 4 hard drive failures, believe it or not.
Wow.
Actually, the first hard drive failure was, and believe it or not, it was the hard drive. It actually failed on me 3 times on one laptop. It was an HP laptop. It failed once. It failed once due to we thought it was a software issue. It failed a second time due to the actual hard drive that was malfunctioning. And the third time, it wasn't the hard drive. It was the motherboard. It couldn't run anymore. The screen itself kept fizzing about. visiting about every 72 hours. And the fourth hard drive crash was from my external hard drive, which that's the point where I had to call On Track to get it recovered. They do a great job, but it's expensive. It cost me $1,500. $1,250 was for the recovery alone, and it got like that because the hard drive wasn't able to be detected through software, so they had to go through a clean room through proprietary techniques to recover the data, and it was believe it or not, it was a master file system failure. The master file tray or something. It was corrupted because the main computer it was attached to, it wouldn't shut down. It refused to shut down properly, so I was forced to shut down it manually, and that's how the hard drive failed. That's why I bought two hard drives, two additional hard drives to back everything else up, and while keeping the other hard drives for general use. So for instance, I got about six hard drives. Two of them internal, two of them general use, and two of them they're just archived, never be touched.
That's the way to do it. You have what's called a dark archive there.
Dark archive?
When you have a disk that you're not spinning, you just keep it.
You basically just write to it whenever you need to, and then throw it in the corner and just keep it safe. So that way, other than a massive flood or you flinging it across the room, it's not going to get any damage done.
Wait, what did the term dark archive came?
It's actually a pretty recent term. It's more of an academic kind of term because it's one of those things where people started realizing that you're doing a lot of your stuff digitally. All of your documents, things like that, you're doing in Word. And, instead of printing it out and stuffing it in cases somewhere, they said, well, we can do the same thing with hard drives and spinning disks. Just store all this stuff onto drives, and then once they're all stored, we power them down, keep them in a safe, cool area, and it's dark. You're not actually accessing it on a regular basis. You're just doing backups to it.
Actually, I have a quick question in terms of, the gentleman here has multiple hard drives and setup. And I know you mentioned RAID earlier. How feasible would it be for somebody who's recently experienced here to set up their own kind of RAID backup? I know you mentioned something like that, and I think that'd be kind of really cool considering,
If you're it depends again on how much money you're willing to spend. It is kind of pricey. A RAID system. There are nice little what are called network attached storage systems, which can run anywhere from $800 to $1,000 plus range. Right.
Yeah.
So what you do is it's a nice box, and you stuff your hard drives in there, and you basically tell the box, I want this to be a RAID, and it will tell you pretty much how much space there is. Usually, you have about 60% of your total drive space if you're getting a RAID with redundancy. But what's happening with that extra, 40% is it's kind of doing duplicates, and it's doing error checking. And that's really nice because you just basically have this big disk that's sitting on your network. But it's also protecting your data a little bit more. So again, as you have a hard drive failure, it gives you a bit of a warning, but you can still use your data. You can still read and write to the system. But what you end up doing is you take that faulty disk out. You can either warranty RMA it or buy a new one, pop it into the slot where it's now empty, and then it'll go back and